Hello and welcome to the F1 24 track guide and Hotlap series. This is a series where I show you guys how to go faster at each circuit, how to tackle the corners at all of the 24 circuits on the F1 2024 game. Today we're going to a track that hosted the first ever night race and also made its debut in the same year in 2008, the Marina Bay Street Circuit. I'll show you guys how to go around this 4.9 kilometer track, 62 laps, and I'll take you guys for a fast push lap at the end. So the Marina Bay Street Circuit, one of the more challenging street circuits on the F1 calendar. It's a fairly long track and it's 62 laps worth of pure concentration. Braking for turn number 1 is just past the LED board, braking very hard. You can turn in a lot earlier than some may think, so that would just kiss that apex there, but you can actually turn in a lot more and really throw the car over the top of the curb. And then because you're going so fast, you can't really open up turn 2 and 3 a whole lot more, but what you can do is get the car over that here as quickly as possible, and then you probably won't open up the corner about this much. You'll probably be about here for turn number 3, and then turn in, hit your apex, and let the car sail out to the edge of the white line. If you go over, your lap time will be gone before it's even begun. And then around this kink turn number 4, and then heading down to turn number 5. This is where you can also lose your lap. To be honest, I feel like the wall probably could be a bit closer, if anything. I don't know, I can't remember what it is in real life, how close that wall is. But the braking point for turn number 5 is right here at the curb. So keep about a width of your tyre within the white lines. You're braking and turning at the same time. So you're trailing the brake into turn number 5. It's a bit of a tricky one because it carries on for a little bit, but sometimes you feel like you can apply the throttle a little bit quicker, a little bit earlier maybe. But it depends how deep you brake. If you brake too deep, you're probably going to have to be a bit patient. So that's a good turn for trying to get your head around, and just keep repeating it a few times until you find that rhythm. And then around the kink turn 6 and heading up to turn number 7. Braking point is when you just about get to the end of this little Rolex concrete block. So when the second block dips out and when that little block comes to an end, that's a good braking point for turn number 7. Get the car on top of the curb to open up the corner a little bit. You'll be fine. The car won't be unstable or anything. Turn in early enough, but just like, I don't know if you noticed it, the car got hung up a little bit and floated a little bit wider. That'll be completely fine. If you can find that right amount of speed, right amount of mid-corner speed, to make sure the car doesn't get too far wide. And doesn't matter if you get hung up on the curb too much. It's a fairly short run down towards turn number 8. So when you get the car nice and straight for 8, get your foot onto the brake pedal just before the LED board disappears. Second gear corner, turn in pretty sharply, hit your apex, and then quickly sail to the right hand side and open up turn number 9. So turn 7, turn 9, it's a good section where you can just repeat the cycle over and over again until once again you can find that groove, because this is one of those street circuits where it's definitely not the easiest, like a Saudi or a Baku or an Albert Park, those type of street circuits. And then heading down to turn 10, 11 and 12, the Singapore Sling. So braking almost at the 50 meter board, hard on the brakes. Again, this is another corner where you can turn in somewhat early enough, but just be mindful. I'll just back up a little bit. Just be mindful of the yellow and green concrete blocks there. It's so easy to turn in too early and just absolutely clobber them, ruin your lap or even ruin your race. So if you get over the curb quite nicely, keep your foot not flat to the accelerator, but then when you get when you open up turn 11, when you get the car nice and straight, get your foot onto the brake pedal so you can pull the car up. You can take a lot of curb with you. The car will want to run a little bit wider, so it's about finding that sweet spot to really get the car over the curb. And then for the apex of 12, doesn't matter if you use the curb or throw the car over the top of the curb, it won't cost you too much time. And then for turn 13, the hairpin, if you can open this section up as much as you can, when you turn in pretty sharply, it'll enable you to open up the hairpin and to use a bit of this open real estate. So once you get past that little concrete block, get your foot hard onto the accelerator, or not on the accelerator, but onto the brake pedal, and then turn in as late and as sharply as you can to really get the nose of the car into the corner. Second gear on entry, third gear on exit is optional. That'll allow you to get your foot down a little bit faster, and you'll be able to find a whole lot more time as you get out of 13. And then the run down to turn number 14. So again, another corner where when you get to the outside, when you get the car nice and straight, braking point is just before the 100-meter board. You'll be going in fairly deep. Once you get to the end of the curbs on your left, that's a good turning point. So gentle turning with the steering wheel, hit your apex, but then don't venture too far wide here, because this wide line will determine whether you keep your lap. That wide line actually determines the track. So if you go over that wide line and try and take a shortcut, you're going to destroy your qualifying lap. And then this whole section, this little kink here at 15, this whole section where you would get the car to the outside and then flick it in to the old turn 60, the old little chicane, that is no more. This is all open real estate and straight racetrack. That was put here for enabling and to try and help overtaking. We have seen some moves into the chicane before. Braking point back there actually is 100 meters. You can turn in a little bit earlier again, really throw the car over the top of the first curb, but not for 17. So you can throw the car over 16, but not for 17. You can still use a bit of the curb, just not as much. You can use a bit more curb at 17, but not as much as you would for turn 16. And then 18 and 19, that used to be turns 22 and 23. This is absolutely flat out. You'll have no dramas getting through here flat out. But what you got to do is open up the corner. As you get to the curb is where you can turn in, not sharp, not like boom, not like that sort of sharp, but enough for you to really cut across the curb. And because you'll be going at such speeds, the car will skid out to the outside, and then if you venture too far wide on exit, you'll have your lap time deleted, especially if you turn in early for 18. So that is your lap of the Marina Bay Street Circuit here in Singapore, a track that demands so much of the car, and it's one that will really test you. Even though, look, it's a bit like Monaco, really. It's going to really test you. Even though it's got a bit more open real estate, it's going to test you quite a bit. So that is your lap of the Singapore GP circuit. Time for the fast hot lap now. And that was your track guide of the Marina Bay Street Circuit. If that helped you guys wanting to get faster at this circuit, then be sure to stick around to see a few more F124 track guide and Hotlap videos. Not many more to do at the time of this video being done, with me doing the audio background as well. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel if you are new to see plenty more F124 career modes that are still need to be done. And very soon, some more F125 gaming content. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Until the next one, I will be seeing you guys again very, very soon.